So Trump is defending the Jewish people and their faith against an autocratic Democrat party. Trump notices it. He comes to the defense of the state of Israel. He comes to the defense of the Jewish people. Now Trump is the anti-Semite. Trump is using Israel as a political wedge because he's defending Israel against Biden, Schumer, and the Democrat Party. Biden has thrown Israel and the survivability of Israel under the bus. You're going to hear from Charles Schumer right now, and you're going to be furious. There's something that has been used against Jews throughout the history of Judaism by one kingdom or empire after another. And in the Third Reich, they talked about Jews having dual loyalties. That is, no loyalty to the state, only loyalty to themselves and fellow Jews. And this was used, it's what we call an anti-Semitic trope, to turn the populations, that is the public, against the Jews. Now, what Donald Trump said the other day was that, in a nutshell, Jews shouldn't vote for Democrats or the Democrat Party because the Democrat Party doesn't support them in the state of Israel. He's 100% right. Sounds like me, actually. And how can anybody deny that who's not a radical, Democrat, or a person who can only vote Democrat no matter the facts? Joe Biden has been a disaster. The River to the Sea crowd has his favorable attention. He's trying to get their votes. He never criticizes them. We have imams talking about eliminating the Jews at some point in the United States and overturning the United States. And it's not just one. It's in Dearborn and surrounding areas. It's in California. It's in New Jersey. It's wherever the Islamist radicals are located. There's no knock on their doors. There are mosques by the FBI. They're not treated like the Catholic Church or the born-again Christians or anybody else, like parents in our school systems. It's a no-touch zone. They have groups here like CARE that are Hamas front groups, literally, pushing their agenda, demanding protests and organizations, lobbying members of Congress. And of course, our media are infiltrated with people like this, low IQ leftists, who view themselves as advocates for the progressive way or against, the occupiers. That would be, the rest of the country, us. And so they've done a pretty damn good job. And these people have a very strong foothold in the Democrat Party, whether it's Tlaib or Omar or AOC or Bernie Sanders. The list is a long one. You could see on the votes on resolutions to support Israel. Big chunks of them vote no. Resolutions to condemn what took place on October 7th. Chunks of them vote no. That's the Democrat Party. And Joe Biden's giving aid and comfort to the terrorists, literally. Schumer went to the floor of the Senate the other week and gave a speech that will go down in history as one of the most contemptible, unconscionable, immoral speeches in the history of the Senate. And there have been a lot of lousy speeches by a lot of lousy human beings there. And that's what Schumer did. And that's what Trump is reacting to. A Democrat Party that's at war with the state of Israel, a Democrat Party that is reaching out to part of its new base that it created, the Islamist base, the River to the Sea crowd, a Democrat Party that has done almost nothing to confront domestic anti-Semitism, an administration that's done almost nothing to deal with it, despite the fact Trump signed an executive order that gave the Justice Department and the Department of Education the power to go after institutions and individuals who use violence or threats of violence or words that threat violence for students to defend themselves. Before that, the Civil Rights Act of '64 didn't cover it. Trump changed that with an executive order. Boy, he must be Hitler, don't you think? And so Schumer has come under a tremendous amount of criticism from Jewish organizations and non-Jewish organizations, Christian organizations, born-again groups, from all types of organizations for what he did, talking about overthrowing the elected government of an ally, a democracy. Seriously? Telling the people of Israel what they're supposed to do, telling the Prime Minister of Israel, not only should you be thrown out, but you need to fire some of these cabinet officers before anything happens, because they're too radical. In other words, they're too Jewish. They're Orthodox Jews. There's something radical about them, and they love their country. He demands that the Israelis accept a two-state solution, even though now over 80% of the Israelis don't want one because they saw what happened in Gaza, which was a dry run. There were no Jews in Gaza. They were all removed. The so-called Palestinians had it all to themselves. It's on the Mediterranean. It's actually quite a beautiful piece of land, or it was. And what did they do with the tens of billions of dollars? 5 of them became multi-billionaires, and they live in Qatar and Turkey. Others became multi-millionaires, and they built almost 400 miles of underground tunnels, a massive, effectively terrorist subway system. And they did it with the knowledge and the help of the citizens of Gaza. It's not like they're innocent. They voted these people into office. They've helped them with the engineering and the construction. Same with the hospitals, same with the schools, same with all the rest of it. And it's not Mark's opinion, that's a fact. And so, Schumer goes to the floor of the Senate because Donald Trump, in an interview with my friend, a colleague in talk radio, Sebastian Gorka, says, among other things, again, I don't know why or Jewish people shouldn't vote for the Democrat Party because the Democrat Party hates Israel. The Democrat Party defends anti-Semitism, words to that effect. It's the truth. And so Schumer and others in the media, like Dana Bash on CNN, what happens with the left, it's happened with me, is they take a word or a statement, they propagandize it, they bastardize it, they pervert it, they push it through their media industrial complex. So groups like the Huffington Post, the Daily Beast, Mediaite, Media Matter, all funded by the left, as well as different shows on CNN, multiple shows, different and multiple shows on MSNBC. It's picked up by the so-called mainstream media, which is not mainstream. It gets publication, then it's on cable, then it's on network news, and suddenly the fiction becomes the issue, is the truth, and the individuals being character assassinated and targeted. That's exactly what's happening here. The Biden administration put out, the Biden campaign, that what Donald Trump said is anti-Semitic. The only president to ever have Jewish children and Jewish grandchildren, and has done so many things to defend Jews against anti-Semitism in America, and so many things to defend and protect the Israeli society. He could run there for office, he'd be elected by a landslide. And now he's the anti-Semite, using this dual loyalty trope. One last thing before you hear this. I want you to pick up on this, which I did last night on radio. It's very, very important. Almost everybody will miss it, but this is what I do. Watch how, in this dual loyalty argument, they substitute country for party. Donald Trump didn't say anything about dual loyalty or loyalty to country or loyalty to your own faith rather than the country, your own ethic. He never said a word about that. He talked about the Democrat Party. Jews shouldn't vote for the Democrat Party. It's against their own interests. It's against the survival of Israel. What does that have to do with dual loyalty? He's telling Jews what the Democrat Party that hates America, and I should add now, hates Israel, that the Democrat Party is evil. And you're destroying yourselves if you vote for it. In fact, you'll be in line at the precinct with the river to the sea crowd. They'll be voting for Biden, and you'll be voting for Biden. What does that have to do with dual loyalty, with the Third Reich, or anti-Semitism? So now it's despicable, it's anti-Semitic, it's dual loyalty to call out the Democrat Party and pigs like Schumer? This is how they twist it. This is chapter 4 in The Democrat Party Hates America. This is how propaganda works by tyrannical parties like the Democrat Party who have a totalitarian objective and mindset. Okay, now I've laid the foundation. Go.
I'd like to begin today by addressing the reprehensible and dangerous comments made yesterday by former President Trump. The former president's comments were utterly disgusting and a textbook example of the kind of anti-Semitism facing Jews, pushing the dangerous anti-Semitism trope of dual loyalty.
There you go. Dual loyalty. What does that have to do with what Trump said? Nothing whatsoever. Go.
To say you hate Israel or your religion because you have one political view over the other is sick.
That's not what he said. That you hate Israel or the Jewish religion because you have one political point of view over another. He said the Democrat Party is anti-Semitic and anti-Israel. And it is. From the top, Biden, down. You have to be Helen Keller not to hear it and see it. Go ahead.
It's hateful. It is unadulterated anti-Semitism.
No, it's not. So this is how it works. So Trump is defending the Jewish people and their faith. He's defending the state of Israel against an autocratic Democrat Party that won't even denounce Talib or Bernie Sanders, a self-hating Jewish Marxist who's taken the lead to try and destroy the leadership in Israel. Trump notices it. He comes to the defense of the state of Israel. He comes to the defense of the Jewish people. And now you see this slob goes to the floor of the Senate, who gave the most horrendous speech the week before, who gave aid and comfort to Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, the PLO in Iran, who are quoting his speech from last week, who are thanking him for his speech last week. Same with Biden. Same with his party. Now Trump is the anti-Semite. Go.
And it serves to use Israel as a political wedge, further damaging the bonds.
To use Israel as a political wedge? Really? Trump is using Israel as a political wedge because he's defending Israel against Biden, Schumer, and the Democrat Party? Biden has thrown Israel and the survivability of Israel under the bus in order to reach out to Dearborn, Michigan, and imams in California and New Jersey. Hasn't said a damn thing about the rampant anti-Semitism that's going on in this country.
We have always tried, I've always tried through the years to keep everything we do on Israel bipartisan.
Bipartisan. So he goes to the floor of the Senate the week before and demands that the Israeli people conduct a coup, have an election, throw out Netanyahu. That Netanyahu's bad for Israel and bad for the relationship between Israel and the United States. They had been gunning for Netanyahu since the Clinton days, really the Carter days, before he was a prime minister. But the Clinton days, the Obama days, and the Biden days. They've been gunning for Netanyahu. And yet the man keeps getting elected. He's the longest serving prime minister in the history of Israel. They keep talking about democracy, democracy, democracy. They're backing the terrorist subhuman monsters with money. They're giving aid and comfort to them on top of that by accusing Israel of committing war crimes, by using Hamas civilian casualty numbers, which have been disproven definitively now, but they keep using them to create a moral equivalency. They keep showing the same buildings that have been blown up. Why were they blown up? Because there were citizens there? We know why they were blown up. Because Hamas is hiding behind its own people. That's why. And he says it's Trump who's using Israel to divide our country. It's sick. Sick. Go ahead.
And to use it for partisan purposes hurts Israel, hurts America, and displays how low Donald Trump would go.
Oh, how low Donald Trump would go. He's calling you out, you SOB.
Want to see more? Sign up for Levin TV.